Smart money is record long on Bitcoin. The bears are scream and sell the news event on the Bitcoin ETF is 30K and played cash creations versus in-kind. What's the actual difference? In this video, you will find out. Hong Kong is actually set to offer both. The Bitcoin fatwa, is this fake news? Cathie Wood sold all of their GPTC. Russia builds a gigantic Bitcoin mining operation. Let's jump straight into Cathie Wood here. Let me just pause this for 2 secs. So Cathie Wood, we think we are the first in line for a spot Bitcoin ETF approval. That's why in this January 10th deadline, we think a number of funds could be approved at the same time. The question now from the SEC are very technical, in line with an approval. Cathie Wood, over to you.
Whether it's you or somebody else in terms of the first spot Bitcoin ETF actually getting approval?
Well, we think the probabilities have gone up because the SEC has been highly engaged compared to what was happening before. Before, it was just denying approval. And we just kept putting our filing in again, try,
Yeah.
dogged and determined. And so here we are. We think we're first in line, and that's why there is this January 10th deadline. But we like the idea that the SEC has been so engaged, and it's not just with us, it's others as well. We think a number of funds could be approved at the same time.
It is Tech Talk next block, ladies and gentlemen. Couple more seconds from Cathie Wood, about 30 seconds. We will jump into the in-kind versus cash creation shortly, as well as what Russia and China are doing. It really is game theory at its finest.
And they've been asking not only one set of questions, but follow-up questions. And again, that's a very good sign.
Well, speaking of engaged, oh, go ahead, please. No,
Yeah,
finish.
the last few questions have been very technical. And so more.
Just on that point, the last few questions being very technical. Obviously, Gary got paid to delay. That's my thought. Maybe it's a little bit tinfoil hat. Now BlackRock's entered the race. They can't be seen to be biased. Obviously, they're biased towards BlackRock. BlackRock runs the world. But asking these level of questions, we've seen all the S1 amendments that are going on lately. Anyway, I'll give her, Cathie Wood, 16 more seconds.
De rigueur, and you'd expect them to be asking these questions as we head toward an approval. Now, it's not 100% certain, and so we want to make that clear as well. This is the SEC, and we never know.
Aren't they fighting words? It's the SEC, not 100% certain. Bloomberg is calling for a 90%. What happens if we don't get approved on January 5th to 10th? It's going to move out to March. Is that a bad thing? No. Will you get cheap sats? Potentially. We will dive into the bear case that is going on. But first, let's jump into the numbers. 5:55 a.m. Look how the numbers line up. 823,308 block height, 42,674. Hey, more sats per USD today. 2,343. What a great day. The last block reward, a lot smaller than yesterday's. Hey, that was at 10. Today is 8.3132. The fees still made up 2.06. Bitcoin, 24% of the block reward. We've got a lovely 69 in the next half. We had a 69 yesterday. 16,692 blocks to go, 92.05% of the way there. It's moved up to April 23. It is slowing down a bit. Yesterday is April 22nd. Unconfirmed in the mempool, 378,025 transactions. 1.6 gig out of 300 megabytes. So Eric Bellahanis has got a couple of things. Let's come back to Eric later. So Eric's from Bloomberg there. I like what American Hodl has to say. You need to be optimizing, maxing. You need to be bullish AF. Fully convicted Bitcoin is going to $1 million. See yourself as a future billionaire. Listen to doom peddlers for entertainment purposes only. Laugh at their fear. Know that everything is going to work out for you. Why did I bring that up? Because the bears are going to get noisy. We see the big red button, the big red buy the button. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, it's not financial advice, but when you study the heck out of Bitcoin, you realize this is a good thing. This is an opportunity to be able to stack those sats. We'll jump into the $32,000 call that is going out by the bears. If it happens, more cheap sats. If you're selling now to hope for 32,000, it was like when it was 17,000 selling waiting for 10 or 13,000. Didn't work out, usually doesn't work out. We'll see what happens. Just stack and chill, my friends. But no, everything is going to work out for you. That's American HODL there. If you didn't know, Jack Mallers, he's bloody bullish AF. If anyone is bullish on Bitcoin, it is Jack himself. Only two guarantees in this world. Nobody can live forever. Nobody can create more Bitcoin. We'll jump into then kind versus cash creations in a second. For everything else, more demand will find more supply. That's why the only thing I truly value
all my silverware, my life, and I will sell
Jack,
it at market.
Jack, just chill. Just chill. Just 1 second. Man, that's how excited Jack is. He is just so bullish. Anyway, for everything else, more demand will find more supply. That's why the only thing I truly value in my life and my Bitcoin, their growth is realized in their worth, not their supply. Bitcoin is the only monetary instrument in the history of our species that is fixed. This is an old video, but a goodie. Let's listen to what Jack has to say, hey? And thanks to Thea for adding captions
Someone
here.
will put a 201st floor in Miami's tallest building. If silver's going to 1000x, I will walk into my kitchen right now. I will melt all my silverware and I will sell it at market. If gold is going to rally, Elon Musk will find more on Mars. Bitcoin is, this is a super important point. Bitcoin is the only monetary instrument in the history of our species that is fixed. It does not matter how much more demand comes into the asset class, Kelly. No one will ever be able to make more of it. There are two things I can guarantee you in my life. One, that I'll die, and the other, that there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. And those are what's the two things that I can only value as my life and my Bitcoin. So it is the only fixed supply asset, Kelly. It's not that complicated. It's going to go up because everything else can be issued more. Does that make sense?
Why?
There we go. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? Convinced? Yeah, do you have the conviction that Bitcoin is the world's greatest store of value? It's literally just TikTok next block. The blocks, roughly every 10 minutes, they keep going up. We have had 823 plus thousand of them. It is going up and to the right forever. Laura, one thing I ask, it's super simple. Just humble the like button. Super, super easy. You can close the live chat for a second. Push the like button. It'll get this video out there. And if we vibe, hit subscribe. Jack, you're a bloody legend. So, Eric, I've been pondering studying this, and I actually don't think cash creations will make the ETF less attractive since grants or trusts aren't taxed at fund levels. That kills one problem. And looking at the 450-ish cash-only ETFs occur on the market, their spreads and premium discount look fine. So experience. Everyone out there saying that cash creates will make the spot ETF, Bitcoin ETF, inefficient, and that's unattractive. But then you remember that Bitso has a record launch in terms of volume and took in $1 billion in its first 2 days, despite an inferior futures-based structure. So I jumped onto the internet, this Yahoo Finance, yes, they're a load of crap, but in regards to it, they broke it down super simple, in kind versus cash creation. So as the SEC Jan 10 deadline approved to deny or approve the ETF approaches, firms are updating their filings to specify their ETF redemption models will use cash creations. It appears through updated filings from firms such as BlackRock, ARK Invest, that the agency is requiring cash redemption models for the funds, which would be the first to track physically backed Bitcoin as opposed to Bitcoin future contracts. BlackRock, ARK, and others switch from various models of in-kind redemptions to cash in their most recent filings. We'll get into what Hong Kong's doing. They're allowing both. The SEC so far has denied bids for a spot Bitcoin ETF, but a US court ruling when Gary got spanked and said you're being capricious and being a total twat, so he had to change his tune. He didn't really care. Maybe Gary likes a little bit of a spanking, but then Larry Fink came in and said, hey, mate, listen, you need to start doing it. So anyway, since then, the SEC has been working with about a dozen firms that have filed applications for a spot Bitcoin ETF. In kind versus cash redemption, while the technical hang-up, the difference between an ETF that has a cash redemption model compared with an in-kind one could potentially affect how much the fund costs. Most ETFs use the in-kind redemption model, which allows issuers to swap the ETFs underlying asset with the market maker instead of conducting the transaction in cash. Because a cash redemption model would have a higher transaction cost, it could make the product more expensive for investors. My guess is the SEC doesn't want broker dealers to touch Bitcoin, and then they also want to have a view into Bitcoin from the exchange all the way to the fund. So the only way to do that, if broker dealers can't touch it, is to just require cash, make the fund trade the cash, buy and sell Bitcoin themselves. BlackRock and Grayscale both had previously presented a version of in-kind redemption models that have caved in. Hashdex, Brazilian crypto investment firm, was the only firm to originally propose cash redemption model. Matt Hogan, what a great ad Bitwise put out. They've taken the cake so far. They're best one. I can't wait to see what BlackRock's ad is. Will I be buying the ETF? No. Anyway, in regards to Bitwise asset management, note an interview with ETF.com that the decision to enforce cash redemptions is not a make or break issue for rolling out the first spot Bitcoin ETF. From a 30,000 foot view, what matters is, do we have an ETF or do we not have an ETF? And all these nuances are we on the 95-yard line? Ladies and gentlemen, one step at a time. Let's just get the ETF out there. In-kind versus cash creations. It really does not matter for you here. Not financial advice, but you just want to hold the thing, put it in self-storage, put it on steel, get it off the exchanges. We do see FTX paying people, starting or proposing to pay people back at when it went bust, which is like 2.5 times less the value than what it is now. If that doesn't give you a reason to get it off the exchange, you're really not reading the books. Good book to read. Here's a shill. Bitcoin Evangelism. Read the books or eat the bugs. Please just get it off the exchange. Don't leave it on there. Read all the books, do what you need to do, reach out to somebody if you need help. It's really not that hard. BTC Sessions on YouTube, BTC Sessions, if you need hardware wallet tutorials, is absolutely amazing. If you need help, whatever you do, get it off the exchange. Things are going to go crazy, and maybe they just sweep the exchanges and take all the Bitcoin out there. Maybe that's a bit tinfoil hat, but do not leave it up to hope. Now, remember, the current price of Bitcoin is simply a reflection of the lowest price that anyone holding Bitcoin is willing to sell for. The price is always discovered at the margin. This means the holders of a few Bitcoin think today's price is sufficient, while the holders that are mainly 19.5 million Bitcoin think that the price is too low. In the chat, let us know. You're going to switch back into dirty fiat, and if so, at what price? Are you going to take some profits? Is going into fiat profitable? Anyway, let us know your thoughts there, and again, smash the like button. So smart money is record long on Bitcoin ahead of the expected Bitcoin ETF. Going to show you both sides here, ladies and gentlemen. Both the bullish case and the bearish case. So we'll start with the bullish bets by institutional investors and knowledgeable market participants have reached an all-time high on the CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Data tracking website Macro Micros. Wow, what a tongue twister. Bitcoin Future Smart Money Index rose to a record 13,711 last week. The record bias for bullish long positions comes days ahead of the SEC impending decision on the spot ETF application. Some observers foresee a classic sell the news price action following the ETF launch. The Smart Money Index rose to 13,711 last week, surpassing the previous peak of 13,603 to signal record net bullish position by asset managers and other reportables. A couple of things there. The bullish expectations have powered Bitcoin higher by nearly 60% this quarter, opening doors for a potential sell the news price action following the launch. As we finally approach launch, we need to point out that it is likely that actual demand for the Bitcoin spot ETF at the start will fall short of market expectations. This sets up a classic sell the news scenario in the second week of January. For this reason, we expect topside resistance for Bitcoin in the 45 to 48,500 range or region, and a possible retracement to $36,000. Are you selling now and waiting for 36K? Let us know. Actually, very curious. Or you're just going to stack and chill? And if we get these cheap, beautiful sats, let me bring up the beautiful red button. If we get these beautiful, cheap red sats, do you just push the buy button? Do you push the buy button when it's green? Both times at the moment are a great time. Anyway, let us know what you're doing, but 36K, is it in play? It's possible. Am I betting my stack on it? How do I say it nicely? Fuck no. Anyway, and a possible retracement to 36 levels before the uptrend resumes. Say it does wick down to 36 and you're waiting for that and it stays there for about 30 seconds and it's bought up very quickly. Well, too bad, so sad. It's what you get for gambling. QCP noted, adding the bullish trend will likely resume ahead of April's mining reward halving. When in doubt, just zoom out. And we can see how the narrative shifts. 10 years ago, exactly, Bitcoin is an evil bubble that won't amount to anything. That was by the New York Times. A decade later, it's $1 trillion asset that's been validated by BlackRock, the SEC, and Wall Street. Bitcoin is evil. It's sometimes it pays to be contrarian and buy the FUD here. That's why I love the big red button so much. So, Rajat, to all my Muslim friends who are not able to invest because interest is haram, usury, Bitcoin is considered halal. Just in regards, isn't halal only in regards to the consumption of food and particularly meat? Let us know. I'm a little bit ignorant on there, but a shout out to all my brothers and sisters out there. Bitcoin is an asset that maintains or grows its purchasing power over time because of scarcity, not because of theft. So we've seen this here. This is going out and it seems to be something that's old from maybe 2017, if I'm correct. 90-year-old Saudi Salafic clerk writes a fatwa deeming Bitcoin acceptable under Islam law. A fatwa is basically either approving or not approving, and I've probably gotten that a little bit wrong as well, but that's the general basis. Shout out to everyone in the chat that is watching. What do you say about dealing with what is known as the digital currency Bitcoin? Is it permissible? Is the cut obligatory on it? Praise be to God. I'll zoom in as much as I possibly can. I know it'll be small, especially if you're watching this on the phone, so I'll read through it. It's not very long. Praise be to God, and may God's blessings and peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad. As for what follows, this question was presented to me before, and I've stopped at the ruling on dealing in digital currency because of the evils mentioned about dealing in this currency, such as deception and ignorance. But now I say it is permissible. These evils are not among the necessities of dealing with this currency, mean that these evils are present in all forms of transaction with this currency. And this is not the case. And in that case, the ruling revolves around its cause. So whatever forms of transactions include legitimate evils, its ruling is not hidden. Which is prohibition and what does not? No, as is the case with dealing with other currencies, and what makes it more likely to say that it is permissible, in my opinion, is that as long as this currency has a cover from the one who issued it, it is acceptable, because then they resemble checks issued with divided amounts in a balance in a known account. What is in the check is worth to everyone who holds it. Those checks then resemble the approved currency, but the checks are not in danger of being lost because it is not dispersed except to those who have been given the order to request what is in it. Digital currency is similar to checks in one way and similar to cash. Approved by. As the experts mention, if this digital currency is expanded in issuance, countries must be forced to consider and adopt it, and I do not know whether everyone who issued something of this type will have their name on the units of the currency they issued. Obviously, the source must be known because trust in it depends on trust in its source, as is the case in other currencies. And accordingly, the same rulings apply to it that apply to current currencies, such as paper money. Usury is forbidden. The hand of the thief is cut off. Its owners become rich. It is inherited from it, and zakat is required. Although it differs in its nature and method of dealing with it in traditional currencies, God knows best. So it looks like it's been recycled. There is no source here. People asking what is the source, and there is no reply there. It has been circulated. We'll see if anyone's got any more information. If they know a source with that, be greatly appreciated. Tag me on Twitter at SeanClark911. I have spent quite a long time searching. It's the only thing really that is out there. So let us know if you know any more. This is a long post by Fred Krueger. I won't read all of it, but what he's saying is that the parents are in the room now. Let's dive into the new wave. I'll just read about BlackRock and Fidelity here, and then I'll repost it for everyone. Let's dive into the new wave of people who will be owning and promoting our favorite asset, Bitcoin. Thank you for your efforts, plebs. We'll take it from here. BlackRock. BlackRock has simply put the largest asset manager in the world. Total assets under management, now 10 trillion, which is roughly half of the US GDP and a third of our debt. They manage over 700 ETFs, more than anyone. They don't play for number 2, although out of the gate, they will be with GBTC in pole position, 600,000. Bitcoin. I am hearing that they could come out on day one with 20,000 Bitcoin in the new number 2 IBTC. Fidelity is a 90-year-old institution with 4 trillion under assets under management, 10 trillion in assets under administration. Their platform serves 3,700 wealth management firms. They intend to do their own Bitcoin custody. The availability of the ETF to their wealth management channel is awesome. They too have the capacity to pull 20k Bitcoin, 1 billion USD on day one for their ETF. Goes into Franklin Templeton, the middle tier, Van Eck, Wisdom Tree, NIDIG, Galaxy, Arc, Bitwise, and Valkyrie, Hashdex, and Pando. I have reposted that at Sean Clark 911. It is a great tweet. I'm just going to call them tweets, ladies and gentlemen. Give me something better to say. I respect Elon, who's gone away from Twitter. He's allowed more freedom, more free speech, so we should move away from Twitter. That's not really a thread, but anyway, let us know what you'd call it. So Cathie Wood sold off its entire GBTC position yesterday, making strategic moves before the spot Bitcoin ETF. And then she went on to buy 4.3 million shares of ProShare Bitcoin Strategy ETF, BITO, valued at $9.2 million. I guess that discount window was close enough for them to get out there, offload it, and then go into BITO. So we'll see. This is pretty cool. Will Clemente put out, I don't know where the hell he found it from, but Michael Saylor, it's just in regards to Michael Saylor. Forget who posted it, but in regards to Michael Saylor, is an intense guy. On weekends, friends say, Washington 96, high-tech entrepreneur of the year, has taken a date to the office, handed her a book and asked her to read all day while he works. Michael Saylor said to her, "Oi, read the books or eat the bugs." That's what Michael Saylor said to his date while he worked all day. A couple of years ago, Saylor flipped his red Toyota sports car. What a Chad. I really hope this is true. Flipped his red Toyota sports car several times on an icy highway, escaped with cuts and bruises, and headed back to his job. DuPont Co. Executives recall, for fun, Saylor himself says he reads 2-inch thick tomes of the history of Western civilization after he gets home from work at midnight. Such is the legend of MicroStrategy Inc.'s tireless 31-year-old chief exec, who friends and colleagues maintain would rather spend weekends building the next Oracle than pursuing a love interest or playing golf at the country club. Michael recently decided women are an incredible time sink. Saylor's best friend, business partner, Sanju Basal, said with a laugh, Basal met Saylor 12 years ago when they joined the same fraternity in Massachusetts and MIT. Work is more enjoyable for him, and that it is a growing experience. Dating's a fluff experience for him. What a Chad, hey? What a giga Chad Michael Saylor is. I hope that is true. But in regards to hash wars, in regards to Russia that we brought up earlier, new Bitcluster, Russia. Now, this is interesting. This is incredibly interesting. A Russian Bitcoin mining supplier is constructing a 120 megawatt Bitcoin mine in Ethiopia, powered entirely by renewable energy from Africa's largest hydropower project, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, 5.16 gigawatt capacity. I wonder if they start there and they expand, but look at that. That is absolutely amazing. Hydroelectric in Cairns, they have a massive hydroelectric power station as well. These insane tunnels. I was lucky enough in my younger years to be doing some very interesting work, and there's like this big mountain. It's way bigger than this, and you like go up through these shafts and stuff. It's insane. It's a bit of a trip. It feels like you're in some CIA bunker. But anyway, that's a total side note. Bitcoin is ESG. Bitcoin is friendly, and Russia is getting in a very big way. Alessandro at Alex Otto, Otter BTC. The door for the people in the medium class to own one full Bitcoin is closing soon. People get so triggered when we talk about getting to one Bitcoin. Let me be very clear. If you can get to Bitcoin, study the fuck out of it and realize that this time is slipping. It is TikTok next block. If you can't get there, get what you can. Is it 0.01? Is it 0.1? Is it 0.5? Whatever your goal is, aim a little bit higher. Work harder, because yourself in 10, 20 years, big boy pants, will thank yourself, yeah? It's your money, it's your choice, but this is literally the greatest invention of all time, the best form of money that's ever been invented, the best performing asset in world history. And you're thinking you're waiting for 36K in place. People are still calling for $13,000. So in regards to it, still 99% of the people in the medium class are or ignoring Bitcoin and waiting for what will happen in 2024. Bitcoin is relentless. Recommend you to allocate portion of your time to deeply study Bitcoin. You didn't, and soon you'll feel the pain to not have followed Bitcoiners' advice. My advice there, as he is saying, is study the fuck out of Bitcoin. Please make up your own conviction. Do what you need to do to be able to stack and chill. Make the most of it, and we'll bring it back up. There's a nice big buy button today. So you do you, I'll do me. I'll jump into the chat soon. For everyone that is watching, super easy. I'll ask you probably 3 more times, but if you can humble the like button. Some people like to humiliate the like button. I know some of you are sickos out there. Bitcoin has an eclectic bunch of people full of the greatest free thinkers in the world. So if you want to humble or humiliate the like button, greatly appreciated. It'll get the signal out there, and hopefully it allows some people to get to one full Bitcoin. Now, Nick, FTX, this is why you don't want to be an idiot and leave. Just be a smart Bitcoiner. Just get your Bitcoin off the exchange. We see it over and over and over and over again. This is not unique. And these people truly are lucky to get their assets back, if they get them back, even at the price when it went bankrupt. So yesterday, FTX submitted a proposal to reimburse customers for their Bitcoin held on the exchange at the dollar price of $16,871. So there you go. If you're waiting for $16,000 Bitcoin, you held it on FTX, well done. You're getting $16,000 Bitcoin. Fuck. But then you think about it, you actually don't want $16,000 Bitcoin. You just want to hold Bitcoin in self-storage. One Bitcoin's one Bitcoin. 2.5 times less than the current price. When people choose to leave their assets on an exchange, they're taking both security risk and entity risk. The risk the exchange goes out of business, commits fraud, etc. Many people judge the security risk as worth taking and completely ignore entity risk. The best way to protect your assets for the long term is to secure them yourself with the right tools to keep you safe. Not your keys, not your coins, not your keys, not your cheese, ladies and gentlemen. We'll skip Eric. We brought him up before. So market cap 1.75 trillion for everything. Bitcoin, the GOAT, makes up 833 billion, $69. How many 69s do we need to get in one day? 369. Study Tesla. He talks about them being the keys to the universe. I know some of you hear the number 69, you get all excited, dinner for two. It's not like that, ladies and gentlemen. It is the universe in balance. Anyway, 833 billion, 69,468,612. There. Oh no, we're down. Yes, the big red buy button. I get so excited for it. 42,536 in the last 24 hours. $1,400 move there. 42,324 is the low. 43,788 as the high. Wow, $1,400. We're going to get $20,000 days to the up and to the downside. This ETF is a buy the rumor and sell the news, and we get a big drop. Hey, I'm not counting it, but you do you. It is really coiling up. Even if we go out over 7 days, or I can zoom out over 14 days. This is pretty bloody tight, hey? And the tighter it goes, the bigger the move, either to the up or to the downside. So maybe you get lucky and you get some cheap sats. Definitely be ready to push. It may not last long if it happens. And this is what I'm talking about. Bitcoin ETF approval. The bears are getting noisy. Fuck the bears. Bitcoin ETF approval. Tip to be sell the news event. I've done pretty good with not swearing this episode. Hey, I apologize for anyone with sensitive ears. Okay, I've sworn a little bit. I'm pretty excited. The water's flat. Hopefully I get to get out on the jet ski today, go for a bit of a free dive. Bitcoin could fall to as low as 32K next month if an ETF is approved. Makes no sense. Maybe short term. I don't know. I'm not in that camp, ladies and gentlemen. Not now. But I'm not looking at next month, next year, next 5 years. We're looking out 10, 20, 30 years. Bitcoin is the revolution, and you don't need to sell it. You'll get to a point where you can just lend against it safely, securely, and still hold control of the asset. Bitcoin is expected to correct to as low as 32K next month, following the potential approval of a spot ETF, according to Crypto Quant. This is where they're going wrong. They've got crypto in their name. Now, sell the news is a well-known term in capital markets. Yes, it happens fairly often. It describes how asset prices leverage and sentiment run up in the lead up to a bullish event, only for the price to tumble shortly after. We're not really seeing a run up though. Crypto Quant added that Bitcoin price may decline to as low as 32,000, which is the short-term hold or realized price. If it does do that, and you want to call me wrong, all I want to say is it's just an opportunity to buy more, but I won't be holding my breath personally. Please, ladies and gentlemen, it's your money, it's your choice. Just study, read the books. So with Bitcoin up over 60%, ETF mania began a few months ago, and with every man as dog on X. It wasn't really in regards to the ETF. We are in the bull run. It has already started. We've pretty much been in the bull run for the last 10 months, really. If you go by the time with historical cycles, yes, it's part of it, but in a bull run, when the market's bullish news will rise to the top, and people will use that and they'll trade on that. If bear articles and stuff come out, it's just totally ignored, absolutely ignored. So we are already in a bull run, and the ETF, yes, it's just part of the narrative. So anyway, Bitcoin's up 60%. ETF mania began a few months ago. And with every man as dog on X.com expecting approval on or around the 10th of January, we must start to anticipate much larger volatility. I agree with that. It is going to be volatile. It's going to mount some faces, both to the up and to the downside. Risk today is substantially higher for long Bitcoin positions than it was just a few weeks ago. And Bitcoin's history, sell the news events are common. In 2017, Bitcoin topped out at 20K after the CME listed Bitcoin futures. 2021, the world's largest cryptocurrency, peaked again, hitting 65,000 after Coinbase completed its IPO before losing ground in the following months. So we'll see. Hong Kong is ready to do what the US is going to do later down the track, in my opinion, but they're going to beat them to it. This is nations game theory at play. 120 people in the chat. I think we are close to an all-time high for live viewers. We'll jump in very shortly there, and then I'm going to go out on the ski while the water's flat. Hong Kong regulator prepares to approve in-kind spot Bitcoin ETFs. Hong Kong financial regulator has published rules for spot Bitcoin ETF issuers, allowing the use of both cash and in-kind creation models. This approach contrasts with the US SEC's commission, which insists on the exclusive use of the cash creation model for spot Bitcoin ETFs. Hong Kong Securities and Futures Commission, the SFC, published a circular on December 22 for authorized funds with exposure to VA's virtual assets. The regulator explained that the circular set out the requirements under which the SFC would consider authorizing investment funds with exposure to virtual assets, VAs of more than 10% of their net asset value, NAV, for public offerings in Hong Kong. Demand for these products has also increased in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is China's playground. In light of these developments, the SFC has introduced regimes that allow the offering of certain VA products to the Hong Kong public, Chinese as well, China, with appropriate investor protection as safeguards in place. Both in-kind and in-cash subscription redemptions are allowed for SFC authorized spot VAs. Pretty exciting. Hey, we are getting into very exciting times in the market. G'day to everyone in the chat. I'll just run through if there's any questions. This sounds pretty cool. G'day, Sean, hiking up to Glacier Rock after your session. Bloody awesome. Tag me on Twitter with a photo at SeanClark911, JGI. That'd be cool. Les Dot and Theo, g'day. One day closer, baby. Simon, good morning. Good morning. Smash the like button, fellas. Fellas, what a great work, hey? Morning, Baseline Benny. I love Jack. Cottage Soul. Doesn't Jack rock? How articulate, how amazing is he? G'day, g'day. Bitcoin is God's currency. Sean Clark is the best. There is no second best. Micro strategies, Michael Saylor is the best. And in regards to the best, Bitcoin is the best. There's no second best. But I appreciate that, Simon, very much. G'day from Sweden. Shout out. ETFs will be seized by the government. Definitely just hold in cold storage. Just take away all the risk. I think that's the best. Made a live show, wow, hilarious. Think Orange live is saying that he shat the bed last night. You're a brave man. I guess Bitcoiners, they just have big balls and diamond hands. So no, I'm playing with you. Retro Beaver, the Bitcoin price is going to melt your face over the next couple of years. Good morning from Hobart. G'day. Actually, in regards to Hobart, we were thinking about looking at some property next year and down there. We'll see. We just want a rainforest place, and I want an airstrip. That's the goal. So Hobart looks like it's got some amazing not Hobart, but Tasmania in general looks like it has some amazing places. Maybe we can catch up drift while I'm down there. Who cares if BTC is halal or not? Why bend the knee to a tyrannical religion? Bitcoin is truth. Religions are nothing of the sort. Christianity, Hinduism, a Muslim, any of the faiths, whatever brings people to find truth within themselves, and it does not matter. It's there's one race and there's the human race. For me, I believe in God, G-O-D, the great outdoors. It's not us versus them. There's fucking Christianity versus Muslim. That's all bullshit. It's so tribalism. I'm not talking about the extremists. That happens in both or in all religions around the world. It's just love and peace. Bitcoin is for everyone. But if it's deemed halal, and I'm not sure if halal is the right word, but say it is deemed halal, that opens it up to a whole lot more people that are forbidden through their beliefs to be able to participate. So I think Bitcoin is for everyone. It is that freedom for humanity. It's not us versus, it's not one religion versus the other. It's us versus the central bankers, and they're who we need to be going to war against. Simon, didn't get anything for Christmas. Told my wife all I wanted was my jade, and I got it in the mail. Still need to punch the titanium and transfer from my ledger, but all in good time. Fuck yes. Baseline Benny, I'm not sure what you're referring to, but fucking fuck yes, why not? If Bitcoin drops, I'm backing up the truck. I'm only focusing on getting to one whole Bitcoin. Well done. Say a prayer, I can do it. Hard with supporting 7 children. See, Simon knows where it's at. He's got a lot of obligations, a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, and he is backing the truck up, doing everything he can to get to one Bitcoin. And there's people out there that have the capacity and they're still horsing around. Simon, you're an inspiration, brother. Maybe I need a Bitcoin daddy. Oh my gosh. Yous are all degens. G'day into the forest. Bitcoin stack last night. Absolutely awesome. Most wholesome channel is this one. James, appreciate. Smash the like button, subscribe and hit the like. Does chat think the alt market is a bit frothy at the moment? Does chat... Who gives a fuck about the alt market? The alt market is always way too frothy. It's a fucking casino out there. Sold half my alts and stood on the sideline with the cash bag. What, for 13K Bitcoin? Best of luck, Unco Baz. Let us know what price you're waiting for. Maybe you get a dip. I hope you get lucky there, brother. Make all the price predictions you want. All I want for Christmas is 100K Bitcoin. Christmas in which year? Biden considers censoring US computer cloud access for China. This will disrupt decentralized crypto projects. Fucking crypto people. Big diamond balls. CKBTC is not subject to censorship because ICP doesn't use any cloud, are vulnerable to malware and hackable bridges. Road to 100K before 2022. It's 2023 and we're going into 2024 soon. But I like your name. Altcoins get wrecked. Oh, fuck, people with shitcoins. Bro, Tassie is the way to go. Mad spot. Have a great day. Yeah, I look forward to getting down there. Love, man. We are all God's children. Peace and harmony. We all want the same as fellow Bitcoiners. They want us all divided. That's it. Good morning from the Adelaide Hills. Oh, man, it went up to the right one straight away. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Hit subscribe if we vibe. We will see you on Monday. We are literally days away from either getting a yay or a nay with the Bitcoin ETF. 90% the odds are in the favor that we get one pretty early. It's TikTok next blog, ladies and gentlemen. 7 days away from the window opening. Be blessed. Peace.